Hello everybody, this is Daydreams and Nightmares, and this is going to be my video entry into Drahcir's Comics and Things for his 100 subscriber contest. And one of the things he was asking is that we actually tell him, and that's how we would pronounce his name, or his channel's name. And I said that's when I say it, that's what I think is Drahcir's Comics. He's since told everybody that it's actually Richard spelled backwards. So, yeah, there's that. Also, for the contest, he wants you to be subscribed, like the video, to leave the link to the video in your video, and to put your video's link on his contest video. And I'll do all those things. He's also asking for a shout out for a YouTuber under 75. I am going to do a shout out for, I believe it's Batcave Comics. And I was checking out his channel primarily because one of the things that was being asked of us for this was to present a cover from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and present. And I don't really have much from pre-70 stuff. I have two comic books that I own from the 60s, and you're looking at one of them right now. But when I got subscribed, Batcave Comics 83 subscribed to my channel. I was checking out his channel, and he has a lot of older comics that he does reviews on his. That he's shown on his channel, which is really what kind of interests me in his channel, is the fact that he has a lot of the comics that I'm not familiar, that predate me, and it's interesting to see somebody else's perspective and presentation of them, because there's a lot out there I don't know, which is great to check out. Also, one of the things that he is going to be offering up as part of his contest is a sketch cover done by an artist, and he's asking what you would like to have done up as a sketch cover. And for me, if I wanted to have one done up, my favorite comic book character all around is Morpheus from Sandman, Neil Gaiman series Sandman. And it could be Morpheus' dream, could be him with the Endless, could be him with his sister dream. Anything along those lines would make me happy, as far as having that type of art drawn up for me to have a sketch cover for a Sandman story. And I think it would be perfect if it actually had Morpheus and Death together in it. But anyway, on to the comic books. What I have for you, let's see, here is, like I said, I only own two comic books from the 60s. This was from 1967, I do believe. It's not exactly in the best of shape. I could maybe see it being graded at a 2. It's not aged well, and I bought it fairly cheap. Not as cheap as the cover price of 12 cents, but anyway. Thor, Mighty Thor, from 1967. And only, like I said, it would be this one or the other one that I own for the 60s. Going into the 70s, I've recently shown this on a few different contests that I've entered into because of the questions that they were asking about my very first comic book. And I figured I'd include it in this as well. For me, growing up as a kid in the 70s, Star Wars is a big hit, and right now with Rogue One out, it's an extremely popular choice for a title as well in current, with the current rage going on for Rogue One. But it has all the iconic characters on the cover here, with the cover on it as well, and being my first comic book I ever picked up as well, there's some nostalgia involved with that as well. Next one, 1980s. I am a big, huge New Mutants fan. X-Men, the younger generation of the X-Men. These I collected myself as well as a teenager. And this particular cover from the earlier part of the series, number 18, intrigues me more than the others because it actually is more of a realistic, and everything else during that period is more cartoonish, more. But there's something about this cover that I really liked and wanted to represent one of the comic books from the 80s when I was collecting as a teenager that I really liked collecting as well. On to the 90s. When I started becoming a serious collector, I started collecting the Sandman, as I had mentioned. And I'm a big, huge fan of Dave McKean and his artistry that he does for most of these covers for the early Sandman series. He does a lot of found object and mixed media covers that have, in some cases, have absolutely nothing to do with what's on the inside. It's just it's concept art for the covers, and I really like it. It's one of those things that intrigued me about Sandman when I first started collecting them. Anyway, this is my book from the 90s, the early 90s, I think 92. Now we're getting into some harder answers. I only own about 7 comic books from 2000 until 2010 total. I was out of the collecting. This one I got in a Bobo's box. And I'm a big, huge Wolverine fan. He's my favorite X-Men and one of my favorite Marvel characters all around. But I just picked up some comic books, back issues from Midtown for Black Friday. But I would say this would be my choice of the 7 comic books I have during that entire 10-year period. And then more recently, also in that pickup from Midtown Comics, this is a variant Black Frog cover of Tank Girl Gold, and it's one of the reasons why I picked it up. I like the Tank Girl storyline, and this variant cover of it was something that I really liked when I was looking. And all of these comics I bought from Midtown were ranged from 45 cents up to $1.15. That was the most I paid, which is why actually for this here. And a couple other variants from the Tank Girl. But that is everything I have. I will leave a link down below for Drahcir's Comic and Things, and also for Batcave Comics 83. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and thank you for watching.